Coach, correct me if I'm wrong. It's fair that a young quarterback learning a new system might not look so great in every practice or on every throw, but it's also fair that sometimes or on a throw or in a moment they show you a glimpse, they show you something that's special that makes you say that's the reason that we have this person?
I think it's fair to say that for any player, that's new, that's young, that's in a new system, new environment, there's going to be some mistakes. I mean, I think you could say that for any young player, and really, quite honestly, for any veteran player as well. I think, look, if you're in this league, it's because you're talented. I mean, there's a lot of guys who play the college ranks, the high school ranks, who don't make it here at all. So anybody who's on an NFL roster, the 90-man roster and definitely an 80-man roster, they have some talent. So you'll see flashes or a glimpse, or you should see flashes or a glimpse from any player that's on an NFL roster, or else. I mean, look, I've been in this is going to be my 17th season. So any player that's been on any roster has had some talent, some ability, or else they wouldn't be there. So to answer your question, yes, that's the case for a quarterback, but it's the case for every position: punter, kicker, long snapper, running back, linebacker, etc. So, yeah, I mean, everyone in this league is talented, and then we have to, as a staff, as an organization, field the team with, what we deem as the most talented of the group that we have.
Omar?
I wanted to ask you, we asked a lot of questions about Solomon Kindley, but we have not addressed Austin Jackson and how he's been playing so far in his elevated role.
Austin, along with, the other rookies, he's obviously learning. He's improving on a daily basis. This is a talented kid, tough. He's smart. And he is, like all the young players, all the rookies, all the rookie players, he's improving every day. He's getting better. He works at it. He's doing extras in the meeting, doing extra on the field in practice. It's important to him. He's making mistakes, like everyone on the team is. I mean, none of us are perfect, to myself included. And he's learning from them, and I think he's getting better. He's getting better on a daily basis, and that's the case with Austin and Robert Hunt and Kindley and, all of our rookie O-linemen.
Adam Beasley.
It's just a little bit of housekeeping. I wanted to make sure you do expect Ryan Fitzpatrick back with the team, correct? At some point.
Yeah, Fitz will be out there today.
Omar?
Wanted to get an update on your linebacker, Jerome Baker. He left the practice field yesterday. What's the update on him? Will he be out there today?
Jerome's taking this, it's day to day. He's getting treatment. He's doing everything he can to get better. Look, there's guys get nicked up in training camp. We're out there in pads. It's hot. So we'll see. He's kind of going through some treatment. This morning, last night. This is going to come down right to the wire whether or not we can get him out there today. So we'll see.
Cam?
Hey, Flo, I haven't seen anybody run to the TNT wall this year. It kind of led me to think, what is, from year one to year two, things that you may have, changed about maybe how you going about coaching and what you learned from year one?
Well, from a scheduling standpoint, there's only so much time we can be out there, especially in the early part. So it was 90 minutes the first day, an hour and 45. So, I just wanted to, there's not as much time as there is. So as far as like running to the wall or anything like that, I'd rather just get on to the next play and not lose a rep for another guy, which, in other years that's not the case. You have enough time to do that and get all the reps in. So as a staff, we're kind of, running off the field because we hit our 90 minutes or we hit our hour 45 or we hit our 2 hours. We're at the point in training camp now where we do have enough time, so we could incorporate that. But don't worry, I hammer these guys when we have penalties pretty good in the meetings. You can ask them about it, and it's not something we take lightly at all. I just felt like, we're better off like we would in a game. Let's just move on and move on to the next play, and we'll hammer time them later in the day.
Hal.
Hi, Brian. We've already talked about the 3 offensive linemen who you drafted earlier today. What I'm curious about is if those 3 perform among the best in this training camp, would you have any hesitation to fielding 3 rookies on the starting offensive line just for the experience factor?
It's kind of a loaded question, Hal. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, the guys who perform the best, they're going to play. I'd say the offensive line unit's a little different in that you need 5 guys who perform well together. So there's some communication that goes with that. There's some experience that goes with that. We'd have to get all 3 of them up to speed pretty quickly to do that. But look, if they're the 5 most talented players and that gives us the best chance to have some success, and we would have to do that. We've got some veteran players, Dieter, who's played a lot, Jesse Davis, who's played a lot, Davenport, who's played a lot. And so the question becomes, do you play the 3 young guys, or do you play a combination of two of the young guys, one of the young guys, all 3? I mean, there's so many different combinations, and we've got some other guys who played and started some games. So we just have to find out what the best 5 guys are from a communication standpoint, and from a talent standpoint. And we'll try to put the best team in. But we're the 3 young guys. They're playing well. They're learning, they're improving. Are they ready to jump in, and play 60, 70 snaps today? Unlikely, given, not having not played in an NFL game and not feeling the speed of the game. And, I don't think anyone's going to be ready to play a 60-minute game right on the onset. So, I mean, we could see different combinations on the O-line as well as other positions.
Dave Hyde.
Yeah, Brian, how did the quarterbacks look without Fitz yesterday? And are you seeing the flashes in them that you mentioned earlier that you like to see?
I thought they both made some good throws. They both made some not so good throws. But, I think we every day is a little bit different. And, how practice is structured, early downs, 3rd down, red zone, 2-minute. We just want to see them in those different scenarios. See how if they can be successful in those areas. But I think, look, they're both working hard. They're both improving, and every play, for both guys, and they're both young. Every play for both guys is a good experience for them. It's a learning experience, and I think they're improving and getting better. Specifically in those situations, in the red area, look, there's less field, so they're tighter throws and there's smaller windows. You got to make a really good throw and a really good catch, and we got to catch the ball with into tight windows with receivers playing tight man coverage, and there's just not as much field. I think everyone can understand that. So how we evaluate them in that area of the field is different than when we're in the actual field. Not necessarily the red zone, but the rest of the field. And it's also different now. We evaluate them in 2-minute and the decision making, which also includes the clock and timeouts and things of that nature. So the evaluation is not just, hey, how many did he complete, or how many, it's not. There's a lot that goes into it. So I think they're both improving and getting better.
Mike DePasquale.
Coach, good morning. I wanted to ask you about Chan Gailey. In an earlier interview, he talked about the process of what made him come out of retirement, a call he took from you, and he wasn't sure at the time. What have you seen in him now that he is back, come out of retirement, and the passion he has to work again with young players?
Well, Chan's a great teacher. I'll start with that. He's a great teacher. Offensively, he understands the game. Defensively, he's obviously very, very experienced. He's very meticulous about, who's playing where, the techniques, the fundamentals. So I've been very pleased with Chan and what we're doing offensively. But we still have a long way to go. He communicates with the players, the coaches, with myself. I mean, that's been good. And obviously he's done it for a long time. I'm excited to see where this goes. But at the same time, it's still early. We're still in installation phase. So as we get through the installation and then come back and rep it again and hopefully improve in the various areas offensively, run game, play action, third down, 2-minute, drop back, all those things, screen game, then I hope we're doing well. But Chan's been great.
All right, we got time for 2 more. We'll go to Omar.
Miles Gaskin's a guy who's flashed just about every day that we've watched practice. What were your expectations coming into this season, and what kind of role do you see him carving out for himself if he keeps it up?
Well, I think Miles has done a very good job. This is a kid who was really, I would say, really improved over the course of last season. Really from OTAs to minicamp to training camp, and you could see kind of the growth throughout the season. He's playing well, running it, catching the ball out of the backfield. His blocking's improved. Like I tell him, like I tell all the other players, their role is going to be what they make it. So if you go out there, you continually make plays and handle your responsibility, and you're someone we can depend on, we're going to find a role for you. And if you're productive, along with being dependable, along with being, doing things, the right way, really on, off the field, then, you could have a really big role. That's kind of what we tell every player. When it doesn't matter if you're a rookie, a veteran, undrafted, drafted, that's the standard. And we're going to try to, hold the guys to that. And I think Miles has done a good job of doing everything he can off the field, on the field, to make himself the best player he can be. And that's, showing up, a little bit in practice. But again, in this league, it's got to show up, in practice, in games, and you gotta have consistency. So, that's what we try to stress to the guys, Miles, along with really every other player.
All right, final question, Joe Shad.
Well, I want to ask you about Robert Hunt. It's not easy to make a transition from the Sun Belt Conference to the National Football League. What has been your message? What would be your message for Robert specifically?
For Robert specifically, but really it's for all rookies. It's different from college. The speed of the game, the amount of time that we put in compared to what they're doing in college. There's no classes, and they're not trying to, they're not working on protections against a blitz, or 4 different blitz looks, and I don't know what classes they're taking, doing psychology class. That's not part of this. So the amount of time they're asked to spend, not just football, but from a treatment standpoint, from a weightlifting standpoint, from a nutrition standpoint. I think in this league you got to try to be good in all those areas, to be the best version of yourself on the field. And that's kind of what we try to coach to these all players, specifically the young ones. The competition, Sun Belt, ACC, Ivy League, it's going to be better. That's just what it is. The receivers in this league, just talking about, I've talked to our young DBs, Noah, Brandon, receivers are in this league, they're good. They're fast. They're big. They got good hands. They're quick. And it's no different than on the O-line, and that's an adjustment for, Kindley, who played in the SEC, and Austin, who played in the Pac-12, and Robert, who's played in the Sun Belt. And defensive linemen in this league are, they're fast, they're big, they're fast, they're strong, they're mean. So, and they bring it every play. So we got to bring it every play. So that's the message to Robert, Austin, Kindley, Hubbard, all the guys who are here. It's the message to the veteran offensive lineman as well. You get complacent and think you got it. You're gonna get hit right in the mouth. So it's kind of where we're at.